and welcome to Patsy's Corner. And this week we got another group of special stories. This is our week about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And there are different stories about Snow White. Most people are familiar with Walt Disney's version, but this is a story retold by Freya Littledale. All right? Everybody loves the story of Snow White. All right. Let's see how she tells the story. It says, once upon a time in the middle of winter, a queen sat sewing at a window. Snowflakes were falling like feathers from the sky. As the queen watched the snowflake, she pricked her finger with a needle, and 3 drops of red blood fell on the white snow. How pretty those colors are, she thought. If only I had a daughter as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as ebony wood on this window. It was not long before the queen had a daughter. The little girl was as white as snow. Her lips were red as blood, and her hair was black as ebony. The queen called her Snow White. But the queen died after Snow White was born, and in time the king married again. The new queen was beautiful, and she was proud and vain. She couldn't bear to think that anyone would be more beautiful than her. Every day, the queen went to a magic mirror that said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of all?" And the magic mirror answered, "You are the fairest one of all." But Snow White grew more beautiful each year. One day when the queen said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the magic mirror answered, "Oh, queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White is more fairer than you." From that moment on, the queen hated Snow White. She hated her more and more every day. At last, she called her huntsman and said, "Take Snow White into the woods and kill her, and bring me her heart to prove that you have done this." The huntsman took Snow White deep into the woods, but when he pulled out his knife to kill her, she began to cry. "Oh, dear huntsman, do not kill me. I will go far away and never come home again." The huntsman took pity on her and said, "All right, poor child, run away. The wild animals will eat her soon enough," he thought. "I do not have to kill her myself." Just then a wild boar jumped out of the bushes, and the huntsman killed the wild boar and took the heart to the queen. Then the wicked woman was happy because she thought Snow White was dead. Snow White was running through the woods. It was getting dark, and the wind howled through the trees, and the wild animals were all around. The animals did not harm her, but Snow White was afraid. She ran and ran as fast as she could. Just when she thought she could not run another step, Snow White saw a little house beside a hill, and she went inside. Everything in the house was very tiny and as neat as could be. A table was set for supper, 7 knives and forks, 7 bowls and cups, and 7 little loaves of bread. And near them all stood 7 little beds, all in a row. Snow White was so tired, she lay down on one of the beds and she fell asleep. Now the house belonged to the 7 dwarfs who worked in the hills digging for gold. That night the 7 dwarfs came home. They lit their 7 candles and Snow White was sleeping. "Oh my," they cried, "how beautiful she is." And they were careful not to wake her. In the morning they asked her how she came to the cottage, and Snow White told them all about the wicked queen. "If you will help us cook and clean, you can stay with us," the dwarf said. "But you must remember one thing. When we are at work, don't let anyone in. The wicked queen will soon learn you are here." "I'll remember," said Snow White. "Good," said the dwarfs, and off the hills they went to dig for their gold. The next morning, the queen looked into her magic mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of us all?" And the magic mirror answered, "O Queen, you are fair, it's true, but Snow White is more fairer than you. Now, near the hill where the 7 dwarfs dwell, Snow White is alive and well." Then the queen knew the huntsman had fooled her, and she was very mad. "I will kill her myself," she thought, "and be rid of her forever." The wicked queen changed her clothes and painted her face, and she made herself look like an old woman. No one would have guessed who she was when she went through the woods and came to the hill when she found the home of the 7 dwarfs. "Buckles and laces for sale," she called. "Pretty buckles and laces," as she held up lace and a bright red silk. Snow White peeped through the window. "Oh, it's just an old woman selling laces," she thought. "Surely it is safe to let her in." So Snow White opened the door for the wicked queen. "Here's a pretty silk lace for you, my dear," the queen said. "Come and let me tie it on nicely." But the queen tied the lace so tight, Snow White took Snow White's breath away, and she fell to the floor as if she were dead. "Now I'm the fairest in the land," said the queen, and she hurried away. When the 7 dwarfs came home, they found Snow White on the floor. Quickly they cut the lace, and Snow White began to breathe again. She told them about the old woman. "That's not an old woman," said the dwarfs. "She's a wicked queen. You must not let strangers in, no matter what they look like." As soon as the queen was back at the palace, she went to her magic mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the magic mirror answered, "Oh, Queen, you are fair, it's true, but Snow White is far more fairer than you. Near the hill where the 7 dwarfs dwell, Snow White is alive and well." The wicked queen turned pale with anger. "The dwarfs must have saved her," she cried, and she thought of a plan to kill Snow White. First she made a poisoned comb. Then she dressed like a different old woman. Off she went to the home of the 7 dwarfs. "Combs for sale," she called. "Pretty combs for sale." Snow White looked out the window. She saw the old woman dressed in rags. She felt sorry for her, but she remembered what the dwarfs had said. "I don't know you," she called. "You must go away." "Look at this pretty comb," said the queen. "Just open the door a little, and I will give it to you." Surely there's no harm in that, thought Snow White. She opened the door a little and took the pretty comb. But as soon as she combed her hair, the poison began to work, and Snow White fell down as if she were dead. "There, that's the end of you," said the queen, and she hurried away. When the dwarfs came home, they saw Snow White on the floor. Quickly they took the poison comb out of her hair. Snow White opened her eyes. She told the dwarfs what had happened. "That was the wicked queen again," the dwarf said. "You must not open the doors to strangers. You must not." As soon as the queen was back at the palace, she ran to the mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of us all?" And the magic mirror answered, "Oh, Queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White is fairer than you. Near the hill where the 7 dwarfs dwell, Snow White is alive and well." The queen turned purple with rage. "Snow White must die. She must," she cried. "There must be some mistake." She went into a secret room, and she made a poison so powerful it would kill her in an instant. Then she took an apple that was so beautiful anybody would want to eat it. Half of the apple was red, the other half was yellow. Carefully, the queen put the poison into the red half of the apple. "Now it is ready for Snow White," she said. Then the queen painted wrinkles on her face, dressed all in black, and leaned on a cane. Off she went to the home of the 7 dwarfs. "Apples for sale! Apples, juicy apples for sale!" Snow White looked out the window and said, "Go away, please. I must not let anyone in." "You don't have to let me in," said the queen. "Just open the window, and I will give you this beautiful apple." "No," said Snow White. "What's wrong, my dear? Do you think it's poison? Look, I will cut the apple in 2 pieces and eat half of it myself. But the wicked queen ate the yellow half and gave the poison side to Snow White, the red part. No sooner did Snow White take a bite, she fell dead to the floor, and the wicked queen laughed. The 7 dwarfs can't save you now. As soon as the queen reached the palace, she ran to the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And the mirror answered, you are the fairest of all. At last the queen was happy, for the magic mirror never lied. That evening when the 7 dwarfs came home, Snow White was dead. There was nothing they could do to save her. This time we're too late. The queen has killed Snow White. They sat beside her and wept for 3 days and 3 nights. Snow White looked so beautiful and alive. They couldn't bear to put her in a cold ground. They put a coffin of glass for her, and they printed her name in gold. Under her name they wrote Princess. They put the coffin on the hilltop where they could always watch over it. They were very sad. Then one morning a prince rode by through the woods with his men. He stopped on the hilltop and saw a glass coffin. Snow White looked as if she was sleeping. Oh, she's so beautiful, said the prince. If only I could look at her always. Please let me talk to her, he said to the dwarfs. I'll give you anything you want. No, said the dwarf. The prince got so mad, the dwarfs felt sorry for him. At last, they let him agree to take Snow White away. Then the prince told his men to carry the glass coffin on their shoulders. But as the men were walking, they tripped over a rock, and the piece of the poison apple fell out of Snow White's mouth. She opened her eyes. Where am I? She cried. You are safe with me, said the prince, and he told her all that had happened. Come with me and be my wife. Oh, I will, said Snow White, and they rode off together to the prince's palace. Everyone was invited to the wedding except the wicked queen. The queen put on her finest gown and she wore her finest jewels. Then she went to the magic mirror and said, Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And the magic mirror answered, Oh, queen, you are fair, it is true, but the young bride is far more fairer than you. No, 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 the queen shouted. This can't be true. I must see the bride for myself. And she rushed off to the wedding. When she entered the palace, she saw Snow White, and the queen choked with rage and fell dead to the floor. Thump! And Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after. Isn't that a good story? And that's the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. It's one of my favorite stories, and I know it will be yours too. Thank you for listening. Now we have a different story of a young boy and a young girl. It's Hansel and Gretel, and it's one of the famous tales. And like I say, your parents and your grandparents, they all know these stories, and sometimes you can say, tell me a story, and they'll be glad to tell you a story. This is Hansel and Gretel, and once upon a time, there was a woodcutter who lived with his children named Hansel and Gretel. Their stepmother did not love the children. They were a poor family, and she would complain that the children ate too much and were lazy. She told her husband to take the children into the forest and leave them there. Hansel heard them talking and quickly gathered up handfuls of pebbles as he had an idea of what to do. The next morning, everyone set off to the forest. Their stepmother led them on deeper and deeper into the woods. Hansel kept to the back and secretly dropped the pebbles on the ground when his stepmother wasn't looking. Then their stepmother told them to wait by a log while she and their father went looking for wood. The father looked very sad. Hansel and Gretel waited, but their father and stepmother never came back. They've left us. They've left us, Gretel sobbed. Don't worry, we can find our way back home, said Hansel. It soon became dark, but the moon was shining bright. Look, it's one of my pebbles, and another one, cried Hansel. The pebbles that Hansel had dropped had led them back home. Their father was delighted to see them again. He was so happy that the children had come back home. Their stepmother was furious. The very next day, she took everyone to the forest again. This time, Hansel collected some bread for breakfast. When their stepmother led them twisting and turning through the dark forest, clever Hansel left a trail of crumbs to find his way back home again. Once again, their father and stepmother did not return. Don't worry, Gretel, we'll just follow the breadcrumbs, said Hansel. But they couldn't find any. The birds had eaten them all. And the children began to walk. We're lost, and I'm so hungry, said Gretel. Look at that strange-looking cottage, cried Hansel. Let's go see. And they walked over where the cottage was. It was a cottage made of sweets. Wow! Gingerbread, cakes, barley sugar. The children were delightful and started to eat. And suddenly the door opened. Why did you come in for a proper meal? Said the old woman. They were so hungry, they went inside without thinking. The old woman gave them a marvelous feast. Suddenly she turned and grabbed Hansel and put him in a cage. She set Gretel to work. We must fatten up the boys, she crackled. She was really a witch. Every day she gave them meals to fatten them up. And one day she told Gretel to get in the oven ready. But Gretel had guessed the witch's plan. I don't know how, she said. I don't know how to do an oven. Silly girl, it's easy, snapped the witch. But as she stepped forward, Gretel tripped her and the witch fell into the oven and Gretel slammed the door. And that was the end of the old witch. Gretel freed Hansel and they ran away from the cottage as fast as they could. They easily found their way back home in delight. Their father greeted them and their stepmother was nowhere to be seen. And that's the story of Hansel and Gretel. Do you think maybe the old wicked witch was really the stepmother and they got rid of their stepmother to live with their farmer to be happily ever after? I think maybe so. Okay, that's the story of a famous tale of Hansel and Gretel. Hope you enjoyed our stories this week. We're looking forward to next week. So we're going to go to Ventra's Crafts, or Crafts with Ventra, and see what kind of things she's cooked up for y'all this week, okay? See y'all. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to Crafts with Ventra. This week is Snow White. So I'm going to show you how to make a mirror. So what you need, 2 CDs that you don't use anymore. It can be scratched up old CDs that your mom or dad has abandoned. You take the 2 CDs, you need a doily, or you can make you a pattern on a piece of construction paper, notebook paper, computer paper, and you cut it out. So you can use your scissors and some glue, and you take your doily and put it in between your 2 discs. But before you do that, you want to cut the center out of your doily. So it'll just leave the decorated edge, and you take that part and put it in between your 2 discs with some glue, and then you glue your top disc so it'll look like this. Then you're gonna need a little popsicle stick, and you can glue it to the back just to hold your mirror together. And you can take you some stencils or whatever, some little jewels. Guys, you want to put you some dinosaur stickers, big trucks, some flames, something on your disc to make it your personal mirror, be less girly, and just decorate it how you want. Mine looks like this. I have a jewel on this side and this side, and if you wanted to, you could draw like little different things on this part just so it wouldn't be as plain, I guess. Next, I'm going to show you, for the guys and girls, if you want you a beard, you can have one too. That's your choice. How to make your own little 7 dwarfs beard. So when you come to us, we'll have the template ready for you. You're gonna need some scissors again. You're gonna cut out your template. You're gonna need some cotton balls or just something that you can fill in your beard with. You're gonna take your glue and your cotton ball and you're gonna glue it down to your little beard template. Then you're gonna take a hole puncher and punch a hole in each corner of your beard. You're gonna use some pipe cleaner just so you can have something to attach your beard to your ears or whatever. This is what mine looks like. Next, I have some handouts for you. We have a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs word search. Try to find the words and help. Adobe, I don't know, don't make me lie to you. It's been so long. Then we have a Snow White trivia fun quiz. So you try to answer all the questions they have for you, and at the bottom you try to name your dwarves. I failed, but maybe y'all can help me out. When you come up here, you can tell me which ones you found, because I don't remember. And in your bag, you're gonna get a little scented highlighter, and I think it has a place where you can clip them onto your keychain or your backpacks. Whenever school gets back in, we have some pencils, and you're gonna have a tattoo. But ask your parents first, because you may have sensitive skin and it may break you out. And that's it for this week, guys. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.